it's gonna be it's gonna be one of the great tragedies of all time. And of course, all the people that never said anything, now Pete Buttigieg is saying, well, it would have been better if he wouldn't run for reelection. Well, fuck, say something when it meant something. All right. But now in retrospect, everybody's, oh well, shit, we should have known.
Now for the listener questions. James, they get better every week because people really are engaged. Cole in Huntsville, Alabama says, why are the Democrats so weary talking about the border?
Well, you got a week, Cole. So what happened is President Biden took office, and of course he listened to the progressives, of which is literally 100% of the time a mistake. And if you remember, Bernie in 2020 was calling for open borders. This was always been a thing on the left that you had to open the border because it was you wanted that disorder or whatever. By the end of the day, the border was a place that was under control. I mean, we learned the hard way. We learned the real hard way. And of course, understand people like immigrants. They don't like disorder. And the Democrats need to be the party of safety and order. Look what's happening in Newark airspace. All right. And I don't, there's a certain progressive revulsion against public safety that I frankly understand a little bit, but not totally. And anytime that there's disorder, it hurts us when we're in charge. And we have to just acknowledge that. And I would say never, ever, ever listen to the progressives, but be very wary and very skeptical when they come to you because Joe Biden's lived to regret it. A lot of other people have lived to regret it. The party's, semi embrace of the language of the identity left hurt us deeply and profoundly. It was really stupid. I mean, really indefensibly stupid, but we did it and we paid a price.
Yeah. James, I'm going to do something that I don't usually do. I'm going to steal a question from New Orleans. This is from Henry in New Orleans, who says, this is a good question. He said, I see strong cases for Biden being the best president due to results during his term and the worst in that he gave rise to Trump round two. Which is more accurate? Well, first of all, he wasn't ever going to be the best. He didn't have any, the kind of record that FDR had, probably even LBJ, but he would have been a good president. He would have left on a high. He would have been celebrated. He would have been recognized as a great bridge between the terrible Trump 1.0 and whatever followed, which I think if he had left when he should have, more likely would have been a Democrat. But he's going to go down, as a much lesser figure because of his absolutely indefensible decision to run for reelection when the people around him knew that he was no way he was fit to serve 4 years. I think the new Jake Tapper book is just going to add to what we already know, and it's going to be devastating. And it's a really, really one of the great tragedies, James, because Biden could have left on a high. Instead, he leaves on a low.
God, do I agree with you? Because this program, I guess I should be happy to say, was probably the most skeptical program there was with a sort of left leaning ideology that Biden should not run for reelection. And it was difficult because personally, he's one of the most likable people. If you look at with the totality of President Biden's career, I would argue is as accomplished as anybody since World War II. All right. And look, he had 4 years. I think he was, what they got done in 4 years and when he turned the keys over, what we had was pretty damn impressive. It was really impressive. And you look at what he did before as, vice president. He was the first big Democrat to come out for gay marriage when he was vice president. His time in the United States Senate, Judiciary Committee, Foreign Relations Committee, everything. I mean, I think Joe Biden certainly deserves a rank among the good, even maybe one of the better presidents. When you look back over history, certainly first term president. But he made one colossal, giant mistake, and it not just cost the Democrats the presidency, which is horrible, horrific, particularly as Trump, but he cost himself a glorious retirement.
He did.
And, it doesn't take, you don't have to be coherent to cut a ribbon to open an airport terminal, a bridge, or a canal, or an overpass. And that's all he would have been doing if he would have gotten out in March of 2023.
For the rest of my life, it'll be just one of the great
It's
tragedies of everyone.
It's going to be one of the great tragedies of all time. And
Uh,
of course, all the people that never said anything, now Pete Buttigieg is saying, well, it would have been better if he wouldn't run for re-election. Well, fuck, say something when it meant something.
right.
All right. But now, in retrospect, everybody's, oh, well, shit, we should have known.
Well, one thing they ought to say, and then I'll say right now, is Joe, go to Rehoboth and Wilmington, get off of television. You are making a fool of yourself. You're planning some kind of counter to this Tapper book. That is the worst thing in the world, because you know what? You're not up to it right now, Joe. You once were, you're not now. Please just go and take comfort in your friends and your family, and stay out of the limelight. Speaking of Pete Buttigieg, Craig in Lake City, Michigan, asked you, James, do you agree that Buttigieg's main weakness regarding electability is that he's gay, and is that a deal breaker?
I hope not. I can't tell you, but I hope not. I can't tell you. First of all, his electoral background is winning in South Bend, right, which is, I don't know, it's a college town, but it's got issues.
About the size of Shreveport, maybe smaller.
Yeah. And he's got to really relate to Southern blacks. I don't know if his being gay, how big an issue that is. I hope it's not. But it's there. It's part of his persona. I don't think anybody should be judged on it. But he's very good on TV. I don't know if he comes across to people as being, presidential timber.
Presidential.
I don't know if it has anything to do with his sexual orientation. I hope it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I don't consider him one of the stronger Democratic candidates, though I do agree he's very good on television and he ought to be used that way. James, this is a long time, listener who is really, putting, telling us to shape up. Eric in Boston, Massachusetts. What happened to the Ivy League Hall of Fame, the Sphincter Hall of Fame, the Hall of Infamy? Are there no more contemporary names we need to throw in the mix? Eric, thank you. I promise you in the next couple of weeks, we are going to revive the Ivy League Sphincter Hall of Fame periodically on this show, because Trump 2.0 has given us some great Ivy League Sphincter Hall of Fame candidates, James.
Did Eric or John Jr., didn't they go to Penn or something?
Yeah. Uday and Hussein.
They're automatic.
Right.
They're automatic.
Right. Oh, we got a bunch. We got a bunch.